Hello guys, welcome to today's session. So we are continuing with our mix and yield variance. So this is the second question we are solving now on mix and yield variance. Okay. The first question, when you introduce the topic, you can get it on my YouTube channel. All right. And a student asked a question, which book am I using? Okay. So far, I'm using ACC Kaplan kit. So I will say 95% of the question we will be solving on performance management will come from ACC Kaplan kit, 95%. Okay, so the remaining 5% will be when I'm introducing a topic. There are certain topics when I introduce them, I will bring some step-by-step examples before we get to a constructive question. Okay, that will sum up to the 5% or even less than that. So let's see how we can deal with Kappa Co. This was ACCA past question. Anyway, September 2018. So guys, please focus on the step. With the following examples we'll be solving, guys, take note on the process. Don't rush into the question. Don't rush. Take your time, analyze the question. You know your formula for variances, then you apply it. Okay? Now, let's read the question. Kappa Co produces omega. So we are producing omega. This is what Kappa Co is producing, omega. An animal feed made by mixing and heating. So the process is mixing and heating. That's the process. 3 ingredients. So they are mixing and heating 3 ingredients. Alpha, beta, and gamma. These are products. Alpha, beta, and gamma. A, B, and G. These are our products. Alpha, beta, and gamma. Okay? The company uses a standard costing system to monitor its cost. The standard material cost for 100 kg of omega is as follows. The standard material cost for 100 kg of omega is as follows. Take note. This is a tricky part. So we are given a standard cost, but for how much? For 100 kg. Okay? Now, these are our standard figures. We move to the notes. The mixing and heating process is subject to a standard evaporation loss. Okay? Alpha, beta, and gamma are agricultural products, and their quality and price varies significantly from year to year. Standard price are set at the average market price over the last 5 years. This is a problem. Standard has been set over the last 5 years. Let's continue to read. Kappa Co has a purchasing manager who is responsible for pricing and supplying contract. The standard mix is set by the finance department. Okay. The last time this was done was at the product launch, which was 5 years ago. It has not changed since. Logically, as you're reading the question, you know that this does not have any relationship to our variance calculations. But remember, this is a professional paper. You have some commentary. You have to analyze your results. You have to justify the performance of the management. You have to give recommendations. So we are expecting requirement to throw light on these notes we are reading now. Let's continue. Last month, 4,600 kg of omega was produced. So this is our actual production. Last was our actual production. 4,600 kg of material of omega was produced using the following inputs. So these are actual results. To have our standard results, and now we have our actual results of the kg, cost per kg, and total cost. At the end of each month, the production manager receives a standard cost operating statement from Kappa Co performance manager. This statement contains material price and usage variances, okay? Labor rate and efficiency variances, okay? And overhead expenditure and efficiency variances for the previous month. No commentary. Get? No commentary. This is very important. No commentary on the variances is given. And the production manager receives no other feedback on the efficiency of the omega process. What are our requirements? Our requirement is, what's our requirement? So no commentary, right? So now what's our requirement? Calculate the following variance for the last month. The material usage variances for each ingredient and in total. So you have to calculate material usage variance. We are not asked for price. The total material mix variance. Total material yield variance. That's our A. B. Discuss the problem with the current system. We identified the problem already on the notes. Standard has been set 5 years ago, not been updated. That's a problem. With the current market condition, inflation, competitors, so that's a problem. And we are told that the finance manager set the standard and has not been reviewed. Set standards 5 years ago, and this has not been reviewed. That's another problem. So now let's go to our calculation. Let's see how we can understand these variances. We are asked to calculate material usage variance. Let's start with material usage variance. Material usage variance. Remember our formula? Variance, we are comparing standard to actual. Our formula will start with standard usage. Remember this formula? Please, variance, you have to memorize the formula. It will not be given an examination. So you have to memorize the formula. Standard usage minus actual usage you multiply this by standard price. This is our formula for material usage variance. Standard usage minus actual usage multiplied by standard price. We have our product. Our products are alpha, remember? We have beta, and we have gamma. These are our products. So standard usage minus actual usage multiplied by standard price. So let's go. We have our actual usage here. Our actual results. Last month, 4,600 kg of omega was produced using the following input. These are standard actual results, sorry. These are actual results. 2,200, 2,500, 920. I will just take this result now for our actual figures. I will take 2,200 and 2,500 and 920. I have my actual figures already. So I need now my standard usage and standard price. Okay, so we go to the standard figures. We've done the actual, we'll move to the standard figures. Sorry. The standard, you see, these are my standard price per kg. Standard price per kg. These are my standard price. Okay. 2, 5, and 10 and 1. Sorry. 2, 5, and 1. So I have $2, $5, and $. So what's my variance? What's my standard usage? My standard usage, standard results. Okay? We are told that the standard material cost for 100 kg of omega is as follows. So my standard usage for alpha, which is A, my standard usage for alpha, but we have 100 kg of omega. All this quantity costs 100. So I'm going to take the 40 for alpha. Pay attention here. Pay attention. The standard material cost for 100 kg of material is as follows. So the information below is getting from a 100 kg of omega. So I'll take 40 divided by 100 for alpha, multiply by actual production. This will land this from the first one. Standard usage will go with actual production. Don't forget that. My actual production, 4,600. Let's go back. This is my actual production. Last month, 4,600 kg of omega was produced. Okay, so this will give me how much? This will give me 1,840. This is my standard usage for alpha. So what's my standard usage for beta? You can do this, right? For beta, which is B, is how much? Beta is 60, right? So it's 60 upon 100 kg multiplied by actual production 4,600. What does it give us? 60. 2760. This will give me 2760. This is my standard usage for beta. And what's my standard usage for gamma? My standard usage for gamma, gamma produces how much? 20 upon 100 multiplied by actual production. This will give me how much? This will give me 920. So this is my standard usage for gamma. Now I have my standard usage for alpha, beta, and gamma. So let me put the figures. 1840, 2760. So I have here 1840 minus 27. Let's figure again. 2760. 2760. And here I have here 920. So you see, I have my figures. So standard usage minus actual usage multiplied by standard price. Remember, to determine the variance, this is a cost variance. Mix and yield, material mix and yield are cost variance. So if the actual figures are greater than the standard figures, it's an adverse variance, meaning we overspent, meaning we use more of expensive material and less of cheaper material. That will give us adverse variance. Okay, so let's see. The first one for alpha, 1840 minus 2200 at what? Standard price is 2. So my variance here is 720, and this is going to be an adverse variance. Adverse variance because the actual result is 2200 and the standard result is 1840. So it's an adverse variance. So we use more of expensive material and less of cheap material. Get? The next one for beta, 2760 to 500 at what? 5. So my variance here is 1,300. And this will give me a favorable variance. Favorable variance means that we budgeted to spend 2,760, but we actually spent 2,500. So it's a favorable. We are able to save. Okay. Now for gamma. For gamma, my variance here will be 0. Because we budgeted 920 and we actually spent 920. So it's 0. And what is this? This is the first requirement. Calculate the material usage variances for each product. That's the first requirement. The second one, and total usage variances. My total usage variances now will give me a total of this, which is 580. This would be favorable variance. So this answer the first question. So in this example, we are not asked to calculate material price variance. But I'm going to calculate material price variance. This is a learning process for all of us. So I'm going to calculate material price variance. We are not asked. We are only asked for material usage variance. So this is the material usage variance. So I will calculate material price variance as just to teach, for teaching purposes, not for discussion, but for teaching purposes. Okay, so let's go for the material price variance. Okay, so let's calculate our material price variance. Like I mentioned, not required, but we have to do that because for teaching purposes, to get better understanding. So I'm going to do my material price variance. Material price variance. My formula is going to be like this. It's standard price minus actual price multiplied by what? Actual quantity, actual usage. Whichever I want to use, actual quantity or actual usage. That's a material price variance. Standard price minus actual price multiplied by actual usage. If you want to use usage, or actual quantity, if you want to use quantity. Okay, so because we have usage in the question, kg in the question, so now we go. We do the same. We are creating this from requirement. We calculate the material price variance for each ingredient and the total material price variance. We'll do the same, okay? So for alpha, for beta, and for gamma. So what's our standard price? My standard price, I have 2 here, I have 5, and I have 1. So my standard price, I have $2 here, I have $5 here, I have $1 here. That's my standard price. Minus. What's my actual price? Let me go to my actual result now. Okay? So my actual price, come to my actual result. Actual price cost per kg. I have 1.8, 6, and 1. I have $1, 1.8, $6, and $1. And my actual quantity for gamma is 2,200, 2,500, and 920. These are my actual figures. Okay. 2,200, 2,500, and 920. These are my actual figures. So what's my variance? Standard and actual. So my standard price, I set my price to be 2. And my actual price, I'm at 1.8. Actual quantity to 200. This will give me 440. What's the variance going to be? When the standard is greater than the actual, what's the variance going to be? Favorable variance. Okay? Favorable variance. And the next one, beta, is going to be adverse variance of how much? 2,500. Standard price is 5. Actual price is 6. So an adverse of how much? 1 at 2,500 gives me 2,500 adverse variance. Okay? And for gamma, my variance still be 0. Our standard is what we budgeted. It was the actual result the same, 0. So this will give me, so this is the individual price variances, and this will give me, so my total variance now will be 2,060 adverse. So for the material price, so more expensive material was used and cheap material was used less. That gives me an adverse material price variance. For the usage variance, because we input expensive material, definitely we're going to get very good. We input quality material into the process, we're going to get a very good output. So definitely our yield variance sum up to be favorable variance because we use good materials in the process. Okay, good. So now we are done with 1. The next requirement is the total material mix variance. You can pause the video, copy this formula, pause the video, copy this as well, and solution. Then let's move to the next one, material mix and material yield variance. All right. Okay, guys, pay attention. Pay attention, please. Let's look at the material, the next requirement. The next requirement says material mix variance. Okay, that's our next requirement. material mix variance. How can we solve material mix variance? Pay attention, please. So our material mix variance. So the first thing I will do, state the formula. State the formula. My requirement 2 is asking for material mix variance. Material mix variance. My formula is I'll use my standard quantity at actual mix. Remember the formula? Standard quantity at actual mix minus actual quantity at actual mix multiplied by standard price. This is my formula. Standard quantity at actual mix minus actual quantity at actual mix multiplied by standard price. Again, you have to memorize this formula. It is not given in the examination. Okay? All right. So, now, if you see, you cannot get these figures as it is in the question, like we did for the usage variances and the price variances. So what I will advise, I will set a table to make it easy for me. Set a table. My table, the first, I'll have my product. My product. I know I have 3 products, alpha, beta, and gamma. I have 3 products. This is the form of my table. And I'll bring my standard quantity at actual mix. Okay. And I have my actual quantity at actual mix. Okay. Then I will bring the difference here. The difference between the standard quantity at actual mix and the actual quantity at actual mix. That difference is the variance in kg. Variance in kg. So I'll bring the difference here, which is the variance in kg. After this difference, I'll bring my standard price. And I'll bring my variance in dollar terms. This is my variance in kg. Okay? The difference is my variance in kg, and I'll bring my variance in dollar terms. So now, there's a technique. Look at how I'm breaking this formula. I will not start with the standard quantity at actual mix. Why? Logically, pay attention. Logically, this actual mix, this actual mix is coming here again as actual mix. Right? It's telling me that for me to make it easy for myself, I will start with my actual results. I will start with my actual results. So let's go to the actual results. What's my actual results? My actual kg, I have 2,200, 2,500, and 920. These are my actual figures. So I'll start with my actual results, which is 200, 500, and 920. This is my actual result. Total gives me how much? 5620. This is my first step. My first step, I'll start my actual result. My second step will be the total for the actual quantity at actual result should be the total for standard quantity at actual result. That's my second giveaway step. So I will bring my total here. I'll bring my 5, 6, 2, 0. This is my second step. Are you with me? My third step, I'll ask a question. What is the ratio? How much of alpha do we need to make mega? How much of beta do we need? How much of gamma do we need? The question states that we need 40 of alpha and we need 60 of beta, and we need the ratio 20 of gamma. This is the ratio. You cannot say put as much alpha as you want, put as much beta. No, as if you want to make cake. You cannot say put as much sugar, put as much salt, put as much water. No, you have a standard quantity. 20 egg, 5 liters of water, 2 cups of sugar. You have that standard. So this is standard. And this standard gives me how much? 120 total. In total, 40 plus 60 plus 20 gives me 120 total. This is the ratio. This is the ratio. So how much alpha do I need as my actual standard quantity at actual mix? My standard quantity is going to give me for alpha. My standard quantity for alpha is going to give me 40 upon 120, the ratio, multiplied by the total I already have, which is 5620. Okay? What's the answer for this one? This will give me 1873.33. This is my standard quantity at actual mix for alpha. Let me do for beta. For beta, my standard kg for beta is 60 upon the total of 120 multiplied by 5620. What will that be? This will give me 2810. This is my standard quantity at actual mix for beta. And for gamma, gamma is 20 upon 120 at 5620. This will give me how much? This will give me 936.67. So I have my figures already. So let me transfer my figures to my table. For alpha, I have 1873.33. For alpha, 1873.33. My figure for alpha. And for beta, I have 2810 for beta. For beta, I have 2810. And for gamma, 936.67. 936.67. These are my figures for my standard quantity at actual mix. Then I need to get the difference. The difference is the variance in kg. So we have to bring a monetary value to it, which is the standard price that will give us the variance in value. Okay? So my variance for the first one, 1873.33 minus 200. This will give me 326.67. The next one, 2810 minus 2500, 310. And the last one, 936.67 minus 920. 16.67. So I have these figures. This is 920, not 950. I have these figures already. These are my variances in Q3. We all know how to determine whether it is a favorable variance or an adverse variance. I've explained that a lot now, right? So let's go with our standard price. What's our standard price? 2510. Sorry, 251. So I have here $2. I have here $5. I have here $1. So what my variance going to be? What's my variance going to be? Sorry, this last one. So my variance going to be for this one. This is 16.67. This is my variance. And this variance is going to be favorable. F. Favorable. Because I budgeted my standard quantity at actual mix is 936 and my actual figures is 920. So the difference between them is 16.67 at 1, give me 16.67 favorable. The next one is 310 at 5. This is 1550. 1550. Which variance is this? My standard quantity as actual figure is 28, and my actual quantity, actual mix is almost 25. So it's a favorable variance. So this will give me a favorable variance F. And the last one, I have 326.67 at what? 2. This will give me 653. 653.34. So this one, my standard is 18 and my actual is 22. So this variance is a adverse variance. The actual is greater than the standard, adverse variance. So what's my total variance here? My total variance here is going to be this at 1550, 16.67. So my variance here is going to be 913.233, and this is favorable F. So this is my total mix variance. So this is the second part of the question. My total mix variance is 913.33 favorable. Okay, let's go to the C part now, material yield variance. Okay, so I will use this area to do my yield variance. My next one is material yield variance. My material yield variance. So I have a formula for material yield variance. So I should apply the material yield variance formula. Material yield variance is my standard quantity at standard mix. So different. Standard quantity at standard mix. Minus, I'll use my standard quantity at actual mix. Standard quantity at actual mix. Multiplied by standard price. Before we continue, let's focus on one thing. And the mix variance formula, we have standard quantity at actual mix. We have this man. Let's see. This is the same man. This is the same man. So you see? So just copy everything, bring to your formula. That's all what you need. So you already have one. So this is the technique. When you're doing the mixed variance, start with the actual. Copy the actual from the question. In the question, I guarantee you the actual figures will always given to you. Always. So just put the actual figures. Okay? Now, for the yield variance, we already have one step. Save time. Just copy and go. So this is my formula. So now, let me set my table, the same table. Same table, I have my product here. Product, I have alpha, beta, and I have gamma. Okay, I have my standard quantity at standard mix. This time around is standard quantity at standard mix. And I have my standard quantity at actual mix. Okay. And I'll bring my difference, which I told you is the variance in kg. My difference between the standard quantity at standard mix and standard quantity at actual mix. I have the difference between the two. That's the variance, but in kg. And I bring my standard price, which will monetize the variance. And I have my variance in dollar, the money value. Okay. So I already have one figure calculated already, the standard quantity at actual mix. Just copy those figures. So for the first one, 1873.33, I have 1873.33. The next one, 2810 for beta, 2810. And my last one, 936.67. 936.67. I already have these figures. Sound good? Now I need my standard quantity at standard mix. Let's go to our standard figures. Standard quantity at standard mix. So my standard quantity at standard mix, we are told that the standard material cost for 100 kg of omega is as follows. But we have the ratio. The ratio of my standard figures is how much? The ratio of my standard figures is this one. 40, 60, and 20. That's my ratio. Standard quantity at standard mix. Right? That's my ratio. What's the actual production? The actual production from the question, we are told that the actual production is 4,600. Can you see that? Actual production 4,600. Stay with me. Stay with me. Okay. So let's calculate this figure. So for now, I'm going to take this off. So we can calculate for the standard quantity at standard mix. So let me start with alpha. Alpha, now we know, we are told this is standard quantity. Pay attention. When we calculated the mix, we use the ratio 4:6:20 give us 120. So we'll do for alpha 40 divided by 120 because we're calculating the mix. But this we are told that the standard material cost for 100 kg, we are calculating the standard quantity at standard mix. So now we are using this 100 again. So for alpha, it's going to be 40 divided by 60 at actual production, which is 4,600. And for beta is how much? 60 upon, sorry, this is 100. 60 upon 100 at 4,600. And for gamma, Gamma, we are saying it's 20 upon 100 at 4,600. What's the answer? So for the first one, 1840. This one is 1840. And the second one, 60 upon 100 at 4,600, 2760. 2760. And for the last one, gamma, 20 upon 100 at 4,600. Actual production, 920. 920. Okay, so we have the figures. We have now the standard quantity at standard mix. You get? So the first one, 1840, 2760. So 1840, 2760, and 920. This is just the variance formula. The variance usage variance formula. So now we have the standard quantity at standard mix. Let's get our difference. Our difference is our variance in kg. 1840 minus 1873.33. This will give me 33.33. My standard price here is 2. My standard price here is 5. And my standard price here is 1. Remember. So the next one, 2760 minus 2810. This gives me 50. The next one, 920 minus 936.67. This gave me 16.67. Okay, so this will be 16.67. This will give me adverse variance. We know the adverse and favorable stuff now. The standard quantity at actual mix is greater than the standard quantity at standard mix. So that gives me adverse variance. The next one is 50, that's 5. This is 250. And this 250 is going to give me what variance? Again, adverse variance. We have 2760, which is the standard, and 28, which is the actual. Gives me 250 adverse variance. And the next one, 1840 plus 1873.33. It's going to give me at 266.66. And this is going to give me which type of variance? Adverse. So all our variances are adverse, 250 and 16.67. So our total yield variance would be 333.33 adverse. It's our total yield variance. Okay. Okay, guys. So this ends this question for the material usage variance, and we added material price variance and material mix variance and material yield variance. So we have one more question to solve on this topic. And after we are done with material mix and yield variance, you can practice much questions. If you have any question you want me to solve, just come on my page comment section and post that question, or refer to the question from the Kaplan study, or from anywhere you want to bring the question, then I will help you on it. Okay. So far we're ending the class for today, and I will see you in the next question I will solve. Have a good day. Bye-bye.